Thanks very much. At least the temperatures aren't too bad.
Exactly.
Thanks, Matt.
Let's see, time now is 7:22. British citizens living in France have been warned they need to prepare for an uncertain Brexit by registering themselves as residents of the French state.
This is in case a no-deal scenario occurs. It could mean that Brits who are abroad suddenly find themselves without the right to permanent residency. Our Paris correspondent Lucy Williamson has more.
For decades, all you needed to enjoy the good life across the Channel was a way of getting there and a place to stay. Despite propping up the rural property market and influencing the local cuisine, Brits in France, as EU nationals, had no need to officially register their presence here. So most of them, like Emma Gell and her 3 sons, never bothered. Now they're being advised to get the EU residence card they're entitled to make it easier to stay on as third country nationals after Brexit. Years after moving here, Emma's discovered that her residency rights as a self-employed EU citizen are dependent on her level of income, and she doesn't meet the minimum threshold.
There's an element of panic. It's very stressful. It's causing anxiety. Those are things, and I kind of go round and round in a circle, and I can't find a way out. The UK government needs to be coming to the French government and saying, how can we help you? We're still UK citizens.
Not everyone has had problems, but there are enough frustrations with the process that some British residents in the Dordogne are holding regular Brexit coffee mornings to share their stories. Different regions demanding different sets of documents, and some applicants being offered interview dates in 2 years' time.
You're only allowed to apply for an appointment online, and there have only been a few dozen, I think, available every month or every 3 months, and the system crashes every time they announce there's appointments available. So we've got about another 5 months before we're illegal immigrants.
The French government has tried to speed up the registration of its British residents, but MPs here say that Brexit just isn't a topic of conversation in the corridors of power. And the Europe Minister has said that Britons here will lose any right to permanent residence based on their old EU status if the UK crashes out with no deal in place.
The online system will cut waiting times. We do have to hurry up, but I have to insist, politely, but firmly and clearly, you decided to leave, and you are creating work for the French administration that it wasn't meant to be doing. And I am very determined we stay committed to reducing our public finances.
What in France seems like a sideshow has come to dominate politics in the UK. But with the debate still focused on the big fundamental questions of Britain's future relationship to the EU, many Britons over in France are feeling forgotten by governments on both sides of the Channel. Lucy Williamson, BBC News, Paris.
Let's see, time now is 7:26.
Interesting how people are having to prepare, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Anyway, we'll be talking a little bit more about Brexit a little bit later. Guess what we've got?